Could the New York Giants look to pull off a trade that would land them Hendon Hooker following the massive contract extension that Jared Goff signed? The Draft Network wrote an article and they listed the Giants as one of the top destinations for a Hooker trade. So we'll break that down on today's video. I'll give you my thoughts and maybe what a trade pick might be going to Detroit could look like if you do want to make a trade for the former Tennessee Volunteer, the guy entering his second season in the National Football League. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Was not at work yesterday, and a lot of people have asked me, Marsh, do you like the new jerseys that the Giants will be wearing this season? And you know what? I've got a lot of thoughts about them, but I wanted to talk about it. So let's just get right to it. There are a lot of people that were bashing the jerseys, and I get it. Do I love the khaki pants? No, I don't. But I think that is the part of the jersey that illustrates the point that this is a throwback jersey. I love the helmets, and I love the jerseys as well. I know people compared them to some soccer jerseys and some Canadian sports jerseys and stuff like that. But it's the history that I honestly really do love. And a lot of people are like, Marshall, way too much red. I don't think people know this. One of the Giants' main colors, and really their primary color early on, was actually red. Then they switched to more of a blue look. But the pants and socks, those come from the 1925 jerseys. And then you look at where Deonte Banks is showing off these jerseys. Those come from 1933. And then the helmets that Jalen Hyatt is wearing kind of have that Michigan look to them a little bit. The Giants actually wore those jerseys in 1938. I like the history. I like that it puts a lot of different time frames and just a bunch of different pieces of Giants culture together to give you a jersey that they will wear two times. What they wrote up is these jerseys are to commemorate their 100th season. The New York Giants unveiled a century red uniform, which the team will wear up to two times this season. My thoughts are, I hope that they wear them on Thanksgiving. I want to see them play the Cowboys. Cowboys wearing some throwbacks, Giants wearing some throwbacks as well. But everyone wants to know, do you like the jerseys? Do you like the jerseys? I'll tell you if I do in a second. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Let me know what you're feeling about the new threads. For me, I like them for what they are. Are they my favorite jerseys of all time? No. Do I love the khaki pants? No. I think they're a little bit corny. And I saw Authentic on Twitter, another awesome Giants content creator. He actually did like a Photoshop where he made the jerseys red as well as the pants red. And I was like, all right, those are pretty sweet. But I just don't feel like if you went all red, that would just show that these are the throwbacks. And I like the whole look. And I think the sleeve Bobby Okereke's wearing, it's going to look pretty cool. You always got to see these jerseys on the field. You got to see how the players swag them out, different accessories they're going to wear. I think they'll look good. I want to see them wear them on Thanksgiving against the Cowboys. I think that'd be pretty dang cool. Wear them in the division a couple of times. I'm a fan, and honestly, I might get a jersey, and Malik Neighbors' jersey in this colorway I think would be cool. Don't love the pants, don't love the socks. Players will probably be wearing tights during the season to make them look a little bit better, but it's Giants football. That's New York Giants football right there. And you know what? I'm actually glad, and it seems like the Giants put a lot of time into this, so credit to the people that work for the Giants, the creative team, the media team. I thought you guys did a great job. I know a lot goes into this stuff. Probably have been working on it for almost 5 to 10 years now at this point, and Twitter is a place where people can express hate without having to put any sort of name on it. So for me, to you guys, I appreciate what you did. Let's be honest. Giants have been kind of boring, and they went out of the box. They did something fun. And really, for the 100th season celebration, they're doing all kinds of fun stuff. And that's what I'm looking forward to this year. I think the logo that they came out with is pretty dang cool as well. Wasn't really a history guy growing up, but I just like it when it's more revolving around my sports teams. The shield in the shape of our first home, the Polo Grounds. Zeros in the exact shape of Giants Stadium. The banner inspired by our classic signature helmet stripe. The banner flanks mimicking the pattern of our legacy jersey stripes. And laces symbolizing our 8 NFL championships. Inspired by the classic logo, Giant Sky logo honoring the 100th season of Giants players. The Duke football honoring Wellington Mara. And the NY, inspired by our classic NY helmet. I like the fun stuff they're doing, and they're going to be doing fun stuff all year long, meeting legends and all type of fun stuff. Yankee Stadium, 100th season day. It's going to be a lot of fun. And you know what? I like what they did. I do like what the New York Giants did. We'll talk about Hendon Hooker coming up in a second, but it's an official race now at this point. I also host our New York Knicks Now channel here at Chat Sports, as well as our New York Giants channel. and it is a race to 50,000 subscribers. Giants now, we've got a little bit of lead on the crazy New York Knicks fans, but we got some playoff games coming up, and we're picking almost up 1,000 subscribers per show. So if you want to be the channel to rep New York and be the first one to get to 50,000 subs, hit that sub button right now. And if you love the Knicks, check out our Knicks channel. Some guy with a widow's peak, he hosts that as well. Coming up next, should the Giants, can the Giants make a move for Hendon Hooker? I've done multiple live shows in the past couple of weeks, and you all have asked me, Marshall, what about a Hendon Hooker trade? I know the Giants were really interested in him in the 2023 NFL Draft. We'll break that down around the corner, but if you want to get a brand new Brian Burns jersey for the upcoming 2024 season, he is officially wearing number 0. You can get it at chatsports.com/Burns. That is chatsports.com/Burns. This link right here, I'll put it in the comments and description. Make it clickable. Click it, get your jersey, and rep the best pass rusher in the NFC East. We're not scared of Micah Parsons. Let's go. The NFL Draft Network. They do a lot of draft content, but they're also kind of becoming a spot that puts out a lot of thought pieces as well as has sources as well. And they have listed the Giants of one of 3 teams that they think makes a lot of sense for a Hooker trade. You might be saying, why, Marshall, would the Lions trade Hooker? They just draft him in the 3rd round. Jared Goff just got a major contract extension, and I'm not necessarily saying that's the reason they're going to trade him or they're going to trade him at all. I don't think that they will. I think they knew when they picked Hooker, they liked him as a person, they liked his mindset, they liked the growth that he could have, and maybe it is just a backup. And that's best case scenario, because that means Goff is playing really, really well. He got the bag. I think he's 2nd now in average annual value at the quarterback position. So maybe they look to get a cheaper guy if that's even available. But this is what Justin Melo of the NFL Draft Network said, quote, the Giants passed on opportunities to draft J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix, or Michael Penix Jr. in the 1st round of the 2024 NFL Draft, despite facing questions over Daniel Jones' future. Jones's 2023 season failed to meet expectations after he signed a 4-year, $160 million extension last offseason. Jones has no guaranteed money remaining on his contract following the conclusion of this season, but an injury guarantee would be triggered for 2025 if Jones gets hurt and can't pass a physical. We've seen similar situations lead to benchings around the league, like Russell Wilson in Denver, as well as Derek Carr in Las Vegas. It's precisely why the Giants added Drew Lock earlier this offseason. Hooker could give the Giants an alternative option with a higher ceiling. And I agree, and I understand why Justin Melo said what he said. And the Giants did a lot of work on Hendon Hooker. If you go back, and we'll peel back the book and take a look at some of what the Giants insiders said last year about Hendon Hooker, and if you watch this channel, you knew that the Giants were very interested in Hendon Hooker. This is what Pat Leonard said last year on April 29th. An interesting nugget. The Giants did view Tennessee quarterback Hendon Hooker as a genuine option at value in this draft if he fell far enough. Considering he'll basically have a redshirt year, they have their quarterback in Daniel Jones, obviously, but Hooker's visit was a genuine look. Art Stapleton also said on Tennessee's quarterback Hendon Hooker's top 30 visit to the Giants, if it was real interest, he said it was definitely real. Feeling was if Hooker's ACL pushed him into the 3rd round, the value as a potential redshirt would be hard to pass up for the Giants. Hooker went 68th. Giants turned 89 into 73 to draft Jalen Hyatt. Dan Duggan last year also said this about Hendon Hooker. If Hooker slid, the Giants could have picked him in the 3rd round with the intention of giving him a redshirt year on injured reserve this season. Then they'd have a talented backup on a cheap contract for the next 3 years, which coincides with Jones's skyrocketing cap hit. So the Giants obviously were very interested. That's 3 beat reporters that do a heck of a job all saying the same exact thing. And I truly do believe that Brian Daboll looked at Hendon Hooker and said, he's the type of quarterback that I would want to run my offense. Take shots downfield, can make every single throw, has a big-time arm, athletic enough to make plays outside of the pocket, also being involved in RPOs. We know that's how Daboll wants to operate, and Hooker fits that exactly. Hooker did not play in the preseason this past year, and he did not play in the regular season. And he's already 26 years old. So I don't think age is something that I'm extremely afraid of as a quarterback, but already had some injury history, has a torn ACL coming off of that. He's going to be 26 years old, and the Lions spent a 3rd-round pick on him. So I understand that the Goff extension is putting light bulbs out there. Draft Network thought about it. I've been asked about it. I don't necessarily think, though, just because you sign an extension, you're going to trade this guy. You drafted him for a reason. You liked him as a player. You probably thought that Goff was going to play his way into an extension last year like he did, and then that Hooker would be the long-term backup. But maybe if the Giants call him up and say, hey, we'll give you a 4th-round pick for Hendon Hooker, or maybe it has to be a 3rd-round pick because they use a 3rd-round pick, they would make that trade. Would you? Would you trade a 4th-round pick for Hendon Hooker? Maybe come compete with Daniel Jones or be the backup, compete with Drew Lock, or maybe the injury guarantee makes you not want to play Jones at all this year. Would you make the trade? Type T for trade, type P for pass. For me, I would decline this trade, and some of the main reasons are, one, he only would have 3 more years on his rookie scale contract. He's a 3rd-round pick, so he gets a 4-year deal. I want to draft a quarterback in the 1st round and have him as a cost-controlled asset for 5 years. 2, he's 26 years old. I would like to draft a quarterback that's 21 or 22 years old. 3, he's had some injury history. And 4, I want to swing big and either go out and make a splash signing in free agency, make a big-time trade, or make a trade to move up to the top of the 2025 draft and select my quarterback that I can wrap my entire arms around as a franchise and say, we are building with you. You are the face of the franchise. We go as you go. I think Hooker could be a solid starter, but I don't think he matches up with the Giants' timeline. As we all know, they want to get a quarterback. They tried to trade up for Drake May. They tried to sign Russell Wilson. They spent $5 million on Drew Lock. They're going to get a quarterback next year. I want it to be at the top of the draft. Make sure you are following me over on social media at @MarshallGreed_ on Twitter and Instagram. I'm tweeting every day about Big Blue, so hit me up over there, and let's go Giants.